All right, well, we're back for the discussion of No Escape, and if you watched our review, we were both into the movie. We recommended it. It's a good suspense movie, good action movie, and it's good the way that they, Owen Wilson's not action movie guy, but that plays to, that makes the movie more believable. He's just a regular guy in a really bad situation. Same thing for Lake Bell. She doesn't turn into an action star in this movie. She's just doing the best she can with what she has, kind of thing. Pierce Brosnan is good. He's interesting that they kind of put him in there. I think if I think about it too much, I don't really understand what his motivation was for trying to help them and not just saving himself. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
There were just so many action scenes that hit you just like they were out of nowhere. The helicopter on the roof and then throwing the kid. There's a touching moment.
So all of that stuff's in the trailer, actually.
Yeah, but how it hits you in the movie, they're having a conversation about a dog, and then all of a sudden he just turns and slings her, and you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he tricks her into relaxing and then throws her over.
But it does the same thing to the crowd. I was watching it, and I'm just like, I'm completely drawn into their conversation about the dog, and then all of a sudden she's getting tossed, and I'm like, oh god.
See, you're not a parent. I knew exactly what was up. No. And I also knew exactly what was up with the second one. Nearly pulling him off the edge, and
I would have let her fall. But that scene, I think one of the best scenes in the movie for me was actually when Lake Bell was listening to the people in the hotel room next to them get murdered. Mm-hmm. That was so intense.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see it. All you could do was hear it and see her reaction.
Yeah.
And it was so brutal. It got my heart going.
Yeah, and a lot of what they show you is the aftermath of stuff. Yeah. So a lot of people are killed with machetes and things, and they don't show you that. They don't really show you wounds. They just show you kind of people sprayed with blood and that kind of stuff. There's a couple of gunshots, but they're not action movie ridiculous gunshots. They're more realistic, small red spot kind of things. Pierce Brosnan's death was overly ridiculous, but that's fine. They needed to take him out of the movie somehow.
Well, pretty much every scene that had him in it, I was kind of like, what is happening here? Because you've got all this intenseness and then random whorehouse / opium den.
Yeah, he's really the comic relief character because he's snapping wisecracks and that sort of stuff, but he also is there to tell you that the real villains aren't the people. The real villains are the corporations and the people that set this all up to happen, and they had a picture of Owen Wilson because of what that company had done, and so they were trying to come after him. The most intense scene, I think, was when they were trying to get the girl to shoot Owen Wilson in the head.
Oof, I thought that was actually going to happen.
Yeah. I was pretty sure that all four of them were going to make it out. I couldn't see...
I could only see him dying. That was the only one that I could see happening.
I can see that. It would have to be a last-minute thing. But I didn't see both him and Pierce Brosnan dying, honestly.
I'm actually really glad they used Pierce Brosnan so sparingly because the idea that he was just going to keep dropping in and saving them.
No, I agree. At the beginning when he tells them to get to the roof, and they go up there, and then they manage to throw the kids across and jump across the other building, and they escape and they get down. Like, all of that stuff I was expecting Pierce Brosnan to be a part of and be, like, telling them what to do and explaining,
It
okay,
would've-
now you got to do this. And it would have been a completely different movie. Because,
It would have killed the tension.
yeah. Because, well, he's got it under control, He's Pierce Brosnan. He can figure it out.
Whereas you legitimately felt that Owen Wilson was just kind of making this up as he went.
Yeah, and you're pulling for him. But they're also, like, putting on a brave face for their kids.
Yeah.
For part of it, But, for him, like, part of it is, like, he's telling them it's going to be all right, we're going to make it through it, but he's also, like, being honest with them, like, they're trying to kill us, and I don't know why, it's not important why.
That was an
But they are trying
interesting
to kill
thing.
us.
Like, in the middle of it, they did put, like, domestic squabbles in there. Like, she was sugarcoating it. No, everything's fine. No, we need to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought that added a bit of realism to it. Because this situation's going to get to everybody. They're not just going to fall in line.
Yeah.
And this movie did a really good job of portraying that.
Yeah.
And
Well, and she tried to sacrifice herself the one time that Pierce Brosnan did, like, rescue them.
oh, that scene almost killed me.
And then she was the one that overcame the, like, gun guy at the end.
Yeah.
Just, like, shoveled him to the head.
And then the Mexican standoff at the end as the boat's just inching
was
towards
great.
the border. Whew.
Yeah. Vietnam just keeps telling him, you cannot come into Vietnam. They're like, we're coming into Vietnam. We're coming in. And then as soon as they cross the border, they, like, turn their guns to the rebels, or whatever you want to call them,
That,
the mob that was chasing him.
man, my heart still hasn't slowed down. It was awesome.
It's a good movie.
It wasn't much, honestly, I can't think of any music in the movie. It was just, sound effects for war.
Yeah. Yeah, and that first, like, it's in the trailer, but that first scene where, like, the riot gear guards are coming down one side of the street and the rebels are coming down the other side, it's just like, oh no. That is not the place to be. And you see, like, all the shops closing behind him as he's noticing this.
And Owen Wilson is, like, smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Well, and that's before they know who he is. Because it's not until they get to the hotel that they get the pictures.
That was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Call back to that.
It was completely lost on the woman behind me who, like, had a conversation with the guy she was there with about, was that his picture? How do they have his picture? I was like, where have you been? Like, they foreshadowed the shit out of that. Like, they talked about it. They showed it.
It was an establishing scene.
What else do you want? And that's basically what he was saying to her. He's like, yeah, they have his picture. He was on the banner in the front lobby.
I liked the conversation that called back to the rice cooker. I thought that was good too. Gosh, this was just a really good movie, and it kept its intensity throughout, and somehow just with each passing scene ratcheted up the intensity. Like the tension was just killing me.
Yeah, I liked the idea of that story about her being born, that they mentioned, like, twice in, like, the first act, and they don't really talk about it again, and then they get to the end and they tell that story, and that story is so much better for them telling it at the end of the movie instead of partway into the movie.
Yeah. I'm glad that it didn't just end with them crossing the border.
Oh, sure.
Like, it needed that scene at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that entire story just puts the entire movie into a sort of context, you know?
Sure.
Adds a little bit more emotion to it, and just makes it that much better.
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly think everything clicked in this movie.
Yeah, it was decent. Well, that's No Escape. If you like the way we do these reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all of our written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.